evening. Welcome to the 5-8, where we discuss each of the week's 5 most fucked up topics for 8 minutes, 5 segments. Usually one guest. Tonight we have a whole lot of guests, 2 hosts, a lot of curse words, and as many cocktails as we deem necessary. Happy Halloween, LB. How are you?
I'm Godfrey tonight.
Who are you? Yeah.
I'm from the Irma Vet, from that great show. I'm Godfrey.
It's such a great costume, and I love it
Thank
so
you.
much.
I know you love it. I did this for you. I even found a leopard robe.
It's wonderful. Anybody who has not seen Irma Vep, I highly encourage you to go watch the show on the HBO there. It's wonderful, and I think the amount of effort, as I was saying before that we went live,
and I have a vape.
The amount of effort put into the costume is inversely proportional to the number of people who will understand who you are.
That's fine.
Great. I love
it. That's good. I like being underground, right?
Yeah. So does Godfrey.
Yes, so does Godfrey.
Independent cinema, man.
And who are you?
I am an emperor of some kind.
Okay.
What kind of emperor?
I don't know. Are you a dark meme lord?
Yeah, I guess I can be a dark meme lord. I've got my occult items behind me. That's like Bahafasat or something, and I've got the skeleton back there. It is a real skeleton. It's real in that it is a tangible thing made of plastic that we got at Target several years ago.
It's that Target.
Yeah. I got to say, this has been a hard week for me. I don't know about you. Like, we're in a big trick-or-treating area here, and I mean, I'm at about $5,000 with stuff because I had to buy the fentanyl. Okay, I had to mash it up. You have to put it in these little things to get it to look like Smarties, and then color it, and then wrap it in the Smarties. People don't even like Smarties that much. And, I miss the old days when all I had to do was like melt Hershey bars and slide the razor blades in there. It was a lot easier.
Yeah. And it's all a grand conspiracy, and you're the one leading the charge. This is what we're learning. But we can't even joke about it too much because we'll get into all that soon.
I know. We can't joke about anything.
We can't joke about anything anymore. All right. So here's what's happening, everybody. We're going trick-or-treating. We're not going to do the rants. We're going to ring on some doorbells and see who has either a trick for us or a treat for us. But before we get that going, before we start, we need a cocktail.
We do.
All right. We brought them some help.
We brought in some help, not from anywhere, not from this country, from a country that's a little more normal at the moment. All the way, all the way from France, which means it's very late at night. From Stir Crazy, Jamie Schler. Hi, how are you?
Jamie Schler.
Bonjour.
First of all, I love Smarties. I'll tell you that much. Second of all, I didn't have a costume, but I have a headache. So I mean,
something's happening there with you. Yeah.
And
you lost one of your chef knives, I think.
Take 2 Smarties and call me in the morning. Yeah, I think is the thing to do.
And you came to France. You came to a wine region for a cocktail.
You did.
So of course, it has to have wine in it.
All right. So we're starting with the wine. Now, everybody, we did put the recipe out. This is an original recipe. Jamie, have you ever made a cocktail recipe before?
I've never made a cocktail before. Ever, but I wanted it to taste like a recipe I have in my orange peel cookbook, which is that way, which I poach oranges in a red wine syrup that's flavored with cinnamon and that's flavored with orange. So I kind of based it on that. So I started with a half a cup of Cabernet Franc, which is our Chinon wine.
Wonderful.
About a little less than a quarter cup of orange juice, of course. I'm the orange lady.
Fresh squeezed, of course.
Fresh squeezed. And then I made a cinnamon simple syrup.
Yeah.
Sugar, water, cinnamon. And we're going to do it's nice and thick too. And we're going to figure out what to do with the rest of it because, I just got it all over the table because we only need a little bit. Half a tablespoon. And then we're going to let's taste it. That's darn good. Just drink the simple syrup. That's okay. A little splash of triple sec, which is also local because it was invented at Combier Distillery, which is 30 minutes from us.
And you're in Chinon, right? We didn't do that.
I'm in Chinon, France. So I just did a little splash, and then I'm going to do about a half a cup of Perrier. I know, Stephanie, you did this. Did you add the whole half a cup?
I did.
That's it.
It was delicious.
Ice cubes. Ice cubes. So I put everything in. Did I forget anything?
Just the orange.
It's kind of a nice blood color. So, and oh yeah. So far we have this, and it's starting to fizz. And we're going to add our little slice of orange.
Cheers. I made it with you.
And our big goblet.
Cheers.
Let's taste it.
Oh, it's really good. It's really good. I love it.
You did the reaction that it's really good the way that Gottfried would.
Yeah.
I'm giving you credit. Yeah, you're really you're nailing the character.
I'm nailing it. I'm not even trying. Oh my God, that means we're closer. We're closer than I thought. This character in me. I've got this is my memory stick. That's my babe.
Okay. And let me see what the level of your glasses, because it seems like you've been.
I had a little.
Yeah,
I had a little. Yeah. Yeah. Before we got going, I had a little.
This is actually a cognac glass, so I guess I should hold it like.
Cheers.
How do you hold a cognac glass like this?
But I think you got to hold it from the. Don't you hold the cognac glass that way because it makes the cognac warmer?
Ooh.
So you don't want it to be warm because it has ice.
Right. This you don't want. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I am going to try the same thing warmed.
I think
this
so.
weekend, I think.
We talked about that, and then
I think it would be good warmed.
You'll give us the recipe to use the extra ingredients.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I will send you that this weekend.
So exciting.
Yeah, this is good. This is good stuff. Because I really do live in a neighborhood where kids trick or treat, and what we do is we usually get we make hot toddies. So when the beleaguered parents come, we're like, "Would you like a little hot toddy?" And they're like, oh, "Yes, please. Oh my God, yes." And
speaking of parents, you and I, now that Jamie's liquored us up,
okay,
we're gonna need a parental chaperone.
We do. We need a we can't just go trick or treating on our own.
We can't just go trick or treating.
We're too young for this.
We're too completely irresponsible. We need a dad. Do you have dad? Where's dad?
I think we're gonna let's bring him in right now.
Yeah. Dad!
Hi, Dad!
Yay!
Children, oh my gosh, calm yourselves, behave.
Victor Shi, welcome back. How are you?
Great. How are you guys?
Good. I'm going to be better the longer the show goes on.
Yes, you're going to need Dad to control you.
Yes.
Yeah. So Victor, for anyone unfamiliar, is the co-host of the iGen podcast, and he's a Gen Z activist. And this is, because I confirmed this before we went to air, this is his first midterm election in which he can vote. So what do you think? Do you like it so far? It's fun, right?
Isn't it fun?
So I actually just mailed in my ballot today. So I am in California, and my original home state is Illinois. And so it was exciting to slip it into the mailing center.
Nice. And nobody was talking you? Oh, I'm sorry, Jamie.
I was just going to say that I got to vote in Florida.
Good.
Oh, good. That's an important state.
That's important.
Yeah.
And I think we know how you voted. No one has to say how they voted, but I know that everybody coming on, we're very encouraged by your votes. So, and very appreciative of it. Yeah.
Right back at you.
Yay. All right, Jamie, let's start with Jamie. I just want to say before we're moving on door to door, what is it like watching and listening to? Do you have a trick or a treat for us when it comes to your mood watching from afar? From Europe, what does this look like to Europe?
Wait. We have to do the trick or treat thing. We have to explain the concept. I knew we were forgetting something important.
Oh, we forgot. I'm going back to my vape of computer data.
Okay.
I did have written down a dirty little trick and a treat. The dirty little trick is that Elon Musk is taking over Twitter and bringing back the great orange pumpkin, and will become, the two of them, our greatest living nightmares for the rest of our lives. But the treat is cocktails. You can all come to my hotel in France. I have plenty of rooms.
Oh my God.
It's going to be a refuge for political refugees.
We're going to do it. This is the new French resistance.
You're going to be overrun,
Yeah. This is the new resistance. We're all going underground, and we're going to Jamie's.
Vive la résistance.
Vive la résistance, exactly. Yeah. Cheers.
Cheers. All right. Yeah. So the concept is, I think we said when we knock on the doors of people, they're going to either give us a trick or a treat. And the trick will be, I think I did say this, Greg. What are you saying? I feel like I'm repeating. The trick will be some nightmare scenario that we're all facing. And the treat will be some hopium, maybe that they have to spread around. Something hopeful.
Something hopeful.
Something hopeful. And we'll go by the topics below, maybe or maybe not. We have to see how it's all.
Yeah, it's kind of, we had some rough ideas about the topics, but we might audible around it based on things. If there's not a lot of chaos on this show, then we've done it wrong. It's just like trick-or-treating, It's like, wow, we don't know which houses are going to have the little crappy Smarties or which ones are going to have the full candy size. You know what I mean?
We might get a full candy bar.
Smarties again.
Yeah.
We got a full candy bar from Jamie, for sure.
You don't know. Yeah. Or which one's going to have hot toddies in the garage. You know what I'm saying? That's our house, which is fun. Okay. So I think what we need to do, we're gonna audible a little bit because we had 2 people cancel, by the way, or not cancel. They couldn't come because they got sick, is also very much like Halloween,
Like Halloween.
I was sick one year for Halloween. I was like 5, and I couldn't. I remember being actually fine and annoyed that I couldn't go out. But that's it.
I know Dad had to deal with that.
Yeah, he did. So okay. We got people waiting in the wings here, so I think we should without further ado bring some people in.
Knock on another door.
We're going to knock on another door now. And who are we going to see on the door? I don't know. Who could it be?
Ding dong.
Oh my God, it's Allison Gill.
Yeah, it's Allison Gill. Yay! Oh,
Hi, Allison.
Hi, everyone. First of all, Dad, Victor Shi, it's good to see you. Jamie Schler, I have been a fan of yours, following you on Twitter for so long. It is so great to finally meet you face to face and speak to you.
It is. It's great to meet you.
Whoever these other 2 schlubs are, I don't even know. But oh my gosh. Hello, Lincoln's Bible, my very, very good friend, and Greg Oliar. Hello. Thank you for having me. And cheers. I am drinking a bread and butter Pinot Noir. It's my latest favorite. So
nice.
It's your bread and butter.
It is. It
is. Cheers.
Cheers. Happy Halloween, everybody. All right, Allison Gill, do you have a trick or a treat for us, or both?
Who do you think I am?
I think you're the hopium lady.
You are absolutely correct. I come bearing good news.
You've laced our candy with hope.
So I have a treat for you.
Okay.
David Raskin has been added to the prosecutorial team on the Mar-A-Lago documents case. He is the person who there were a lot of people on Twitter saying, hey, wasn't there just a person in Kansas City who took 300 classified documents home with her and, she got indicted. Why are we not treating Donald the same way we're treating regular employees? And she was convicted and found guilty, and she was convicted by David Raskin. And so now he is on this prosecutorial team. This is generally somebody that gets brought in at the end when they're ready to prosecute, because this is a prosecutor. So that is the bit of hopium I am bringing to you today, a little bit of toil and trouble for Trump world.
Okay, so maybe there's some
Thank you for that.
Indictments coming, you're saying, because there might be a prosecution.
Absolutely. I think that he has been brought in. There, I think, is, national security legal experts are saying that there is enough evidence now to consider bringing charges. And I think he has been brought in to make that consideration. And I think we will know, hopefully, by the end of the year, whether or not that prosecutorial decision is going to end in an indictment. And the only little rub that we're running up against is whether or not Donald can show or say or use as a defense that he declassified some of these documents. But as you know, that only precludes the Department of Justice from charging him on the espionage count. There is still the obstruction of justice, which carries twice as long a sentence as espionage, a 20-year max, which means probably 4 to 6 years for him. And the 2071
per count.
Per count.
Okay.
and the 2071 charge, which is concealment. Now, per count for the same kind of criminal activity is usually served concurrently, so I wouldn't expect those to be consecutive sentences. Like, I don't think we're going to get an obstruction charge on each document, and he would have to serve 4 to 6 years for each document consecutively. I think it would be concurrently, but it is still good news. It shows that Merrick Garland, and I said this back when we found out that the two valets, the Diet Coke guy and the other guy, were caught on tape moving boxes of information.
That's right.
And they're bringing them back in, pressuring them, putting the squeeze on them. And I thought to myself, and I talked to you about this, LB, that those 3 weeks where Garland decided whether or not to sign off on the search warrant, I don't think that was a 3-week deliberation to decide whether or not to sign off on the search warrant. I think that was a 3-week deliberation where Merrick Garland said, if I sign off on this search warrant and find fruits of a crime, am I willing to prosecute? And so I think they've reached that point, and they've brought in Raskin, who I don't think is any relation to Jamie.
I was going to ask that. Yeah.
One of the most badass prosecutors for specific national security documents crimes. So we'll see what happens, but that's my hope. That's my treat.
I think it's the equivalent of a very, very large, completely overflowing bag of sweet treat.
Yeah, it would be. It would
From
be
the
nice.
chef. Yeah.
Full-size Reese's peanut butter cup.
That's like a king-size candy bar.
King-size candy bar.
Yeah, no, I think it's gonna take a canny prosecutor to do this case too, because it's like, hey, did you steal these? Yeah. Okay, he has them. They're there, and he's not supposed to be there. He took shit. He's not allowed to
stole
take.
the Pentagon's candy, and now he's going to pay the price.
It's not even the hand in the cookie jar. It's that he took the fucking cookie jar to Mar-a-Lago. That's the problem.
He took all the Halloween candy,
and then lied about having a cookie jar.
The kids.
Right. That's the thing I'm most encouraged about, Allison, because I feel like some of this other stuff is so hard to prove. Like, if you think about doing it in the court of law, like, the insurrection, we all know he did it. We all know but to prove it is going to be hard. But like, he took the shit. He's not allowed to take it. That's
and
pretty
he lied about it.
dry.
And he lied about it.
And he lied about it.
The cover-up is worse than the crime. And in this case, I think that will be what we see. He might not get taken down on espionage charges, but that obstruction is clear as day.
As they always say, Al Capone and fraud.
Yes, they do. And then I have to sigh every time I hear the Al Capone thing, because it's like, there is a podcast everyone can hear for the real story of that. But this is also why I suspect maybe Donald freshened up his plane.
I maintain he's not going to leave. He can't leave. He can't leave his omelet bar.
Away.
He only eats 6 things. If he was in a lovely hotel in Chinon, France, he would not know what to do with himself. He'd be like,
and his Diet
"Where's
Coke
McDonald's?
ballet
I need my well-done burger."
And his Diet Coke ballet is flipping, so he can't.
Pathological narcissists never think they're going to get caught.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, Allison, Allison was like, his Diet Coke guy is actually turning on him. The Diet Coke has turned, and it's flipping on Donald Trump, so he can't take the guy.
So now he can push his Diet Coke button and and get a grand jury subpoena.
Yeah, well, I'm sure Jared will be there for him always.
I like this. I like this a lot. Okay.
All right.
I think it's time.
Are we bringing in someone else? We're going to ding dong. I wish we had a ding dong sound. I'm sorry, guys. We don't
have one. Do I have one?
You have one? A doorbell?
There's so many wires on my desk that let's see. Do we?
Oh,
that isn't really a doorbell.
Here. I'll knock. Oh, Godfrey, this.
Who's at the door? Who knows who's at the door? Or who knew who's at the door? I don't know. Who knew? How are you? Happy Halloween.
Yeah, you two guys too. You're so festive. It's so lovely to see everyone. Hi.
We have to be festive, because if we're not festive, it's just life is too bleak,
I agree.
We have to keep speaking it into existence.
Yes.
Or drinking it into existence.
Manifest that shit.
Yeah. Yep. Big believer.
I'll take a drink.
So what do you have? Do you have a trick or a treat?
Yeah.
I have compared to Allison's giant bag of real full-size candy bars, I have some little candy corns. I don't know if you can see.
Oh,
I
I
like
love that.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, so I just have a little bit of candy corn for you. And it's kind of like a little it's hopium. It's a treat. It's a tricky treat because I don't know if it's actually going to happen, but this is my wish. Okay. So the shit that just went down at Nancy Pelosi's house, obviously horrific, right? Whoever it was, clearly totally unhinged, violent, crazy person. My hope is that the Democratic strategists can get their shit together to create advertising that ties that to the Cesar Sayak guy. You remember he was like during the Trump, he was sending bombs through the mail to a bunch of Trump critics, to the Whitmer kidnapping thing.
Yes.
Who some of them have been convicted recently, and also to January 6th, and basically paint the Republican Party and their supporters as condoning violence against, condoning political violence, essentially. And so that's my hope.
Inciting it.
Correct. Yeah. Right? For all they are yelling about, the violence during George Floyd and Democrats are soft on crime and blah, blah, blah. I really hope some genius strategist person can come up with a concise message that's basically like, the Republicans don't care if any Democrats are attacked. They just don't care. They want them to be kidnapped.
So I think we can probably contact, I'll put the word into Midas Touch if they're not already working on it.
Great. Do you know anybody, Allison? Can you help with this? Maybe, are you going back to the White House by any chance?
Well, I am a paid CIA operative.
I was going to ask if you were, did you get called out by name by One America News?
They keep avoiding calling me out by name because they know that I know a lot of really good lawyers.
They're afraid of you. Yeah. Yeah. Well, but welcome to the spy game.
Yeah, that's right.
I'm a spy. We're doing our costumes. This is what I'm learning tonight. I have had maybe 4 or 5 sips of this. I'm really sober as can be. But if you just do your makeup like this, you look drunk as a skunk. I'm learning a tip. If you're going out, everybody, just put some finishing spray on your makeup and no one will be able to tell. This is what makes us look at this. I look terrible. It's fantastic.
It's beautiful. It's perfect.
Yeah. Wait, Victor, did you do a trick or treat? I forget if we started with you or if we just kept marching. I don't think you did it. Did you do a trick or treat?
Bad.
I haven't done a trick or treat, but I think in the same vein as Allison and Lee, maybe I'll do a treat. I've been a couple of weeks ago, I joined a great group called Voters of Tomorrow, which is this youth-led organization that really mobilizes young people to vote. And we've been doing a lot of work around trying to text people, trying to call people, really getting young people to turn out to vote. And we did a poll a couple of weeks ago that found that over 60% of young people say that they're going to turn out to vote, and they're willing to turn out to vote this election. And so far, the data, it's not the best, but we're so far seeing turnout rates that are matching that of 2018. And so hopefully, as we head into November 8th, more young people are going to kind of pick up their shoes and go to the ballot box and make their voices heard. So we're optimistic, and I'm optimistic too about where young voters stand right now.
Great.
Right on.
I like it. Do we have to are we fair and balanced? Do we have to be bleak? I don't want to.
No, I have, there's probably some bleak shit coming in the second half of the show.
Okay,
just hold on. Yeah, hang in there.
There's bleak shit coming. Can I ask before we get to the the karaoke, the epic karaoke? I want to ask about the what's his nose, the guy, the Tom Barrack trial. Because what's going on with that? Do we know anything yet, Lou and AG?
He testified. He was apparently cross-examined pretty hard. And he basically said, I didn't know he was a foreign agent and he didn't ask me to be a foreign agent. And it's like, well, that's not how that works. So
yes, you only have to register as a foreign agent if somebody from another country in the government asks you specifically to be a foreign agent. I mean, everybody knows that. Right. Just ask Gregory Craig.
Forgot
good.
about that guy. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Right,
who
we're
knows? I
giving-
mean, it's going to go to the jury, I think, and we'll see what happens.
Okay.
But think about think about the psychological torment that Trump will suffer if Barrack is found guilty and gets sentenced to prison time just after Bannon got sentenced to 4 months in prison, which he's not currently serving yet, but should be. But I mean, 2 of his besties getting prison sentences, that would be pretty awesome.
Like 8 of his besties got prison sentences during the Mueller investigation.
Yeah,
but
we
he
forget
pretended
that.
he
It's
didn't-
like it
he
never
was
happened
like-
because of the
yeah.
pardons.
Right.
You know?
But like, I don't know.
I know what you mean, but he didn't, and he needs to, and I think that's all he really cares about.
You're right.
Of course, there'll be ketchup on the wall, and his valet won't be there to clean it up because he's at the grand jury.
And the other guy, the Diet Coke guy is gone. It's terrible. Poor Donald.
I think we have to pour one out for him.
Yeah.
No.
Okay, so we haven't had this many guests on the show yet, and I wasn't sure. Like, I feel like I'm like Scotty in Star Trek. Like, let's see what this thing can do. So I think we've reached maximum capacity, and people are knocking to get in and can't. So
yes, it's houses that we're going to be knocking on, but yes, we got to get him in there.
I know. I was speaking metaphorically. You're speaking factually about the fact that we're really out trick or treating.
We're really out trick or
You know,
treating.
we don't want to break the fourth wall or whatever.
No.
So, yeah. So I think it's time now to move it along to our karaoke. But I want to say to you guys, thank you so much for coming on the show tonight. It's great to see you. Happy Halloween, and
thank you for all the good cheer. Thank you. I think it was a horrible day. And you guys just brought a lot of light into the end of this day. And I couldn't be more grateful to you. And I know I'm going to speak for our audience now. I know they're just grateful and thrilled for these 4 beautiful souls who came on to cheer us up.
Amen.
And to make us feel better about our community at the very least and what's possibly ahead in the future.
Can I just thank Victor Shi and the Gen Z voters because I remember Barack Obama being on Pod Save America right after the 2016 election. And when they asked what brings you hope to Barack Obama, the hope guy, he said, there's a lot of young kids, children right now who in 2020, 2022 are going to be turning 18. Yeah. And I think they're going to wash over this country like a wave of hope and change. And that's what filled him with the most hope in 2016. And I think we're seeing that come to fruition because of people like Victor. So thank you, Victor, for the work that you're doing about the young vote.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks, Dad.
You're going to save our old asses, young man.
He is.
Yeah.
They're going to save us.
Okay, right. Before we go, is everybody staying on Twitter? We're all staying on Twitter, right? We're not.
Oh yeah, fuck you. I'm staying on Twitter.
Yeah,
definitely.
Yeah.
It's also just inertia. I'm too lazy. I don't want to go to this new show. I'm like in Atlantic City when they want to build something and there's like one crotchety person that doesn't want to sell their house. That's me.
Okay.
I'm just going to be here till the bitter end, and so be it. All right, now it is time for Halloween karaoke.
Darkness falls across the land. Republicans who love Ayn Rand take their commands from Trump on Truth Social to terrorize your voting booth. Let's crown the ultra MAGA queen, Elise, Bobo, or Taylor Greene. Jim Jordan's in his shower stall as Proud Boys gather on the mall. The foulest stench stinks up the night, the incel funk of the alt-right, and soulless Giuliani ghouls sit and watch 2,000 mules. Will democracy survive? We are all rightly scared. A million deaths have plagued cause of the Slenderman called Jared. Whoa!
Well, that was fun.
We might have had a little help on that. We might have had a little help.
Yeah, I think.
Yeah, let's see if we can knock on a door.
Okay, wait, hold on.
And see, maybe somebody's behind this door that can tell us what the hell we just watched. It's
my
Donald.
God.
Oh my God.
I knew this house looked weird. It looked like it was some big mansion-y. Mr. Former President, what are you doing here?
He's just floating. He's just floating. Oh my God, he's floating around.
Oh wait, I know why.
Fucking face. Fix this. Where's Danny Scabs? Danny Scavino, god damn it. What's my password? I just want to get on Twitter. Why can't my lips move?
Before your lips were moving, and now your body is moving, and it's freaking me out, Mr. Former.
It's freaking me out too. You have no idea. My lips move so much better than this. I don't know what the fuck's going on.
Are you looking forward to getting back on Twitter?
Yes.
When do you think that will happen? Now that your buddy is there.
Oh shit.
This is my buddy. Okay, wait. I'm sorry. I know I'm making it worse.
Does somebody have my password? Anybody have my password?
Your password is 4 zeros, like Kanye's iPhone.
It's the strongest fucking password anybody's ever seen.
It's Ivanka. That's your password.
How did you know that? Fuck. All right,
Put it in there.
Fuck this.
Get your.
He went away.
We lost him.
That's a strange thing. He's going to come back? Wait a minute. LB, I don't think that was really Donald Trump.
I don't think it was really Donald Trump.
But if it wasn't Donald Trump,
who could it be?
I don't know.
Recognize?
I don't know. We'll see if he can figure out how to get back on the screen.
Back on?
He's trying.
He's trying.
Try.
Oh my God. We might have to bring in somebody else while we're waiting.
Yeah, do that.
There we go. Where's your camera?
I'll be back.
Goodbye.
All right, he's going to be back. Okay. In the meantime, we're not going to say who he was, but he might have had something to do with
all of our animation.
Lovely animation that we just had. He also did the animation for a movie called The Game Is Up.
Yes, he did.
Trump voters telling their story, and I think I've given away whose house we're at now. The longer this goes on, and the more
open the door.
When I have to do the sound effect. Oops, that's the wrong sound effect. Melissa Jo Peltier, how are you?
Trick or treat. Happy Halloween. Look how cute you look. I love the martini. I love it. You look like, what are you?
I'm Godfrey. And Greg
I see you're Godfrey, but what is Greg?
He's the king of all
this is like a real crown. This is like made of metal.
Oh wow!
Yeah,
wow.
I don't know. Maybe I'm like the emperor from the tarot
It
card.
was great. It was great. Well, happy Halloween. I have my husband went to the penny candy store in Provincetown today. So look at what I have.
Are they gummies?
No, they're licorice wheels.
Oh, how nice.
Yeah. And then my favorite, chocolate covered pretzels, white chocolate.
Nice.
And what else do I have?
These are very dangerous treats, though, to give out. You can't hand these out. You have to. Nobody will throw them all away.
Well, it's date night, so we're going to be eating them ourselves.
Oh, perfect.
And then he got himself some chocolate covered grams.
Wonderful.
You can't go wrong with that. Your friend is back, so we're going to introduce him now. No, everyone knows his work. Everyone knows his name. No one has seen or heard him before. Right now, ladies and gentlemen, Chunk. How are you, sir?
Can you hear me?
We can hear you.
Okay,
we can hear you, and we can
good to
see
see
you.
My
you.
lips are moving. My lips are moving.
Yeah. It's a very good Donald Trump voice.
Sorry about that.
Very good Donald Trump. He does a great. He did one of the voices, one of the Donald Trump voices in our film. He did.
What? Wait, so since you guys worked on this movie, I have a question for today. That's actually a serious question. Sorry, Chunk. I'm throwing a serious question at you, and Melissa. But you did a movie about the hope of sort of de-radicalizing people, of moving them out of at least where we were at the time, which was this cult was beginning to form when you did your film. And it was sort of like that Fox News, people were just losing themselves to propaganda and believing all kinds of crazy things. But it was before the big lie. It was before the insurrection.
Right.
So talk to us a little bit about that. Maybe there's some hope in there somewhere of what it takes to, at least for the folks that haven't gone fully on board with political violence yet, maybe there's hope for pulling them out of the cult if they're in your family or a friendship circle.
Well, we recut the ending because the original ending was much more hopeful because Joe Biden had just gotten elected and everybody was hopeful. And we did a big, Zoom recording of everybody and, people talking about where they were now. But we also had a cameraman on the scene, Jason, who was on the scene for the rally, the January 6th thing.
The insurrection.
Yes. And he was in the crowd. And the great thing about him is he's like this big guy with like a beard. And he fits right in. He's this, white guy and he's a little bit big
in a nice way.
In a very nice way. And he's got like, he wore his army jacket and his fatigues, and he sort of fit in, and people were suspicious of anyone with a camera, and they would say, who are you? He would tell the truth. He'd say, I'm making a film called The Game Is Up, man. And they're like, yeah, the game is up. So he was fine. Nobody took his camera, and he shot, the bit down at the ellipse, and then he started walking toward the Capitol with them. And he got pretty close, and then he realized his battery was dying. And he called us to say, I don't know what you're going to do, but this is like a bad feeling in this crowd. And we're like, get out of there. Get out of there. So he never was in the big thing. But thanks to the January 6th committee, we were able to, public domain use the stuff that they showed. So because it's government. So we added some of that at the end, and we made the ending a little more like open-ended. So it's sort of like, here's your choice. What are you going to do?
Yeah.
And I think I really think the ending works now. But yeah, I mean, it was different before January 6th, but people were feeling pretty hopeless. Some of them feeling pretty hopeless because it looked at that time that he was going to be reelected.
Yeah.
It really did.
Yeah. I don't know how to add to that. I think, I don't know. There's so much general frustration that I don't know that anybody could. How was I going to go with this? Doing. I'm so lost. I'm already kombucha'd in.
You're kombucha'd in. But we were talking about, like, can we get them out? Did you, in your experience, I know that you just worked on it. Like, what is that? And you're in a very red area too, a weird area. Yeah.
Extremely red.
Extremely red. So
and actually, I mean, just my neighborhood is pretty nice, but
yeah,
it's kind of a blue oasis. But there's what this movie does is it really strikes at a common level because it doesn't disrespect this movement, their movement that they like to talk about, and
I mean, all those chunk, some of the animation,
I'm pretty disrespectful, but that's
well, that's why we wanted.
That's a thing. Yeah.
Exactly. Some of the animation gives it away, but the animation is also done with like a little tongue in cheek, so it's not like we're trashing. It's not like they're rhetoric.
You're not ridiculing, but it's okay to be irreverent.
Right.
These are. It's just such a serious moment, and it's kind of a moment I feel like, look, these are another 4 people who were day one of the Donald Trump presidency in there going, oh my God, and fighting, in each of us in our own unique ways. Greg and I with writing, Melissa making film, Chuck doing animation, resisting with our art.
Yeah,
right? That's all we knew what to do. That's the only place we knew how to turn, as to sort of go and use our art and try to try to get through to people, because all these forms, especially I think the comedy, where comedy can come in, it like with what Chunk does, it can pierce, right? It can kind of break through. And I'm not, there's a part of me when I'm in private, Greg knows I'm very dark. I am. And then I come on, I see everybody here. I do.
Yeah, I am too. I'm pretty dark too. People don't.
I'm pretty dark, but I don't want to be.
But
I don't want to be doom and gloom. But it's, I want to be realistic and have our focus on and all that. But it makes a difference to have a community like what we've built here. And Melissa, I felt like you built a real community. And Chunk, as you were making the movie, you reached out to everyone within the Twitter space that's now taken over by Elon.
Well, I didn't have any money, so we had to have volunteers, and we had to have people who were just really, and obviously the people we were all communicating with on Twitter were all like in the same mindset. We're all like, what is happening?
Right.
So, but I watched Joe, in real time. I watched him change, Joe Walsh, and that was really what inspired me to do it.
David Wiseman too.
And definitely David. But for me, Joe was the funniest, because Joe was like, wait a minute, what did he just do? He was, you could see like his brain, like, wait, he's insulting the FBI. I mean, and he was like, you can't do that. I mean, so he was really, you saw him over a period of a little over a year. You saw him.
He reacted exactly the way we wanted everybody else to react.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Everyone should have reacted that way.
Everyone should have reacted like that.
Like it was a wake-up call.
Which,
but
every reason.
I really thought Joe would be the canary in the coal mine. He'd be the first guy, and then all his Tea Party people would feel the same way because they're such patriots. And no, I mean, it's really interesting. I think that was the big shock for him, and it was certainly a big shock for so many of us that everyone got on board. Everyone. And when the second impeachment the first impeachment failed, and I didn't think it was going to happen, but I didn't expect it to be this mess, this disgusting mess with Republicans coming in drunk and and spitballs and it just was so awful. Yeah, and it was, to me, that was like, they've decided, haven't they? They've decided. There has been a decision made. This is not just everybody reacting by themselves. There's been a decision made that they are just going to go all in for autocracy.
Yeah. I think it's funny. I think it's funny that you had to pause just then and remember how many impeachments there were. I think sometimes, we really just have to pause and think, this is all fucking crazy. It's crazy. It's crazy.
Go ahead,
Greg.
All the lawsuits and everything.
Yeah, all the lawsuits. And I think
it's nuts.
I think one of the things that makes us feel where we have to check in and remind ourselves all the time is not just that it's hard to wrap our minds around all this, but it's still being normalized 24/7 through the mainstream media, where we turn for getting sort of truth and everything. There's still like, even today, it's like, well, we don't know what the beliefs were of this. Like, it's still this sort of like, well, we just can't say. And, both sides, they're still doing it and they're normalizing it.
Yeah, but I think it's on purpose. I really do. I mean, for a while, I was like, what are they doing? Do they not get it? And, they'll eventually get it, right? And then, of course, they did. They got worse. And they're really worse now. The New York Times is terrible.
Yeah. Terrible.
I mean, it's like, how bad can you make the Democrats look? And I was a little suspicious about this whole, it's like, we're neck and neck. It's the Democrats. And then suddenly the Republicans are going to win. Boom. That's the media narrative. They're going to win, red wave. And I was thinking, why? Why would they do that? Because they're actually talking about polls where they had Democrats winning and they're discussing them.
Yeah.
They're saying, no, the Republicans are going to take this, it's going to be, they're going to take over everything. And I thought, why would you want that narrative? But of course they want it, because if they lose, they can say, hey, the polls all said we were going to win. And they can say, if they win, however they win, they can say, hey, everyone knew we were going to win. So they've got it, they've got the reason to go and challenge the results, or they've got the reason that they won, even if who knows why they won. You know, I mean, that recent Supreme Court ruling right now that just happened today. What state is it?
Which horrible
Which
ruling do you
horrible?
mean?
Which
I know, they're all horrible.
You have to be more specific, unfortunately.
Today was
It's the second impeachment.
Talk about trick or treating.
what oh God, what was it?
It wasn't Wisconsin, was it? No.
Was it an appeal?
Doesn't matter. Okay, so what was the
Was
point
it one
of
of
it?
Trump's appeals?
Yeah.
The point was they ruled that you had to have a street address. You couldn't have a
for voting.
Oh, that sounds like Texas.
yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know though. I have no idea.
No, it was
It
not.
reminds me what you
Arizona.
were saying reminds me of the everybody I hope follows that New York Times pitch bot on Twitter, which is the best.
So funny.
It's so great. Like one of them was just, you know, the polls say the Democrats are winning. Why does it feel like they're losing? And that's it in a nutshell. It's I can't, like, I was thinking about that account last night and like it's so perfectly tuned to this moment in the way that the Onion was in the 90s. Not that the Onion isn't still funny, but the Onion was, when it came out as an actual paper, that was like the high point of all culture, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Okay, we should move along because you know what? We have another house to get to. This is a nice looking house up on the hill here.
Oh, we're doing that? Okay.
Bars.
All right.
Yeah. We're gonna have good candy bars in this house. And
okay.
I don't know. I wonder.
I think I was just texting him that it would be at the end, but maybe now.
Oh no, he's coming in now. I think.
All right, he's coming in now.
We're ambushing. Ethan Berman, how are you?
Ethan Berman!
Hey guys. I don't
Nice
think
to
I've
see you.
ever Melissa, Jo, and I have I think connected on Twitter.
Yeah, definitely for a long time, but we never sort of met.
Exactly, right? It's by the way, hang on a second. I just want to share this because this is my Jewish space laser.
Oh,
yes, the gay candle.
the candles
Well
the best.
done.
They're the best.
Marjorie Taylor Three Toes or whatever her name is can go take my Jewish space laser and go away. Anyhow,
Go away. He actually would. Yeah. All right. So we have a trick or treat question we can ask you, but I also just want to litmus kind of come in with you because I think today's it was a hard day to have that violence. And so anything you want to say about that? Any trick or treat you might have for us? We're all ears, Ethan.
So two things. One, I was on. I did go on the German television today to talk about Herr Pelosi, and there is nothing positive to say about that. As a matter of fact, so many on the right's response to it is beyond disgusting and reprehensible, and they just. Every time we say, they've hit a new bottom, it's because they're always exploring how low they really can go. And it is a bottomless pit beneath that lowest level that we think. So on a positive note, since I have Melissa Jo here and Irma Vep, by the way, I absolutely love that.
You get it. You understand my costume.
Oh my gosh, Godfrey! I mean,
awesome,
outrageous! What an outrageous character!
Thank you so much.
I loved it. I absolutely that show just touched me. But what was so weird is I think maybe it probably is more interesting to Gen X for some reason because
it's a very Gen X show for sure.
Thank you, Greg. So anyhow, but let me give you the positive.
Okay.
Here. While I have you guys, Greg, Don, what's on your face there?
Chuck.
It's the pizza that I ate. It's a Sicilian pizza that I warmed up in an oven, and the box has a nice little cardboard mustache that I felt out of place not having a costume. So now I do. And you can keep going. Sorry.
No, please. And I'm drinking. Is this water or is this vodka? No, I'm at the office, so it's water.
You're at the office.
And I'm dressed up as the aggressive attorney. So
love it. My favorite kind. My favorite.
But here's the positive. I really do mean this in the most sincere way because I can go really dark too. But the positive is this: every time throughout human history, that the authoritarians, that the fascists, that the autocrats seem to have the upper hand, who is it that takes them down? It is the artists. It is the writers. It is it is us.
Yes.
So, I mean, I'm not an artist like you guys or anything. I don't even try to compare myself.
But you protect our ass, so we really appreciate it. You have our back.
I do. I fight for you. Yeah.
You really do. You really do.
And but that is what will save us from this. It is those with a heart, but it gets communicated out to everybody else through, you know, the undermining of the autocracy by the artists, the writers. It is in every form. So you guys are what is going to save us from these fascist. I want to swear, but I'm not going to.
Go for it. You have to.
These fascist fuckers all around the world right now are just it's no, I mean that. Like it's Russia Putin invaded Ukraine. China's getting ready to invade Taiwan.
I know.
We've got the MAGAs here. We had the Brexiteers in the UK funded by Putin, allegedly.
Yep.
You know, we've got that shit going on all around the world right now. Down in Brazil, I mean, I have Brazilian friends, right? I mean, Bolsonaro is one of those same people as they destroy the Amazon faster than it's ever been destroyed, the lungs of the world, right? I mean, it's like there's so much we could be dark about. The artists will save us. So thank you. Thank you.
Well, we'll do our best.
Lawyers will help get the artists out of trouble.
Get us out. Keep us out of prison. We're going to get rounded up, Ethan. You're going to round us up.
I don't think any of you have ever seen me mad, but I will get mad. And
Good.
I love to see it. I don't think you're unartistic, by the way. I think you're an artist too, and you know you act and stuff like that. You're a creative guy. You know,
but that's not what I'm known for. So.
You're not, you know, sometimes you see attorneys and you're like, yeah, okay, that's all you do. You cannot do what you can tell that you have a breadth of interests and talents. I think I don't think I'm speaking out of line. So
thank you for embarrassing me. I'm now red.
You're one of us.
Yeah.
Whatever's happened in the family.
I've been red for about 20 minutes.
Stays in the family.
Yeah, Chunk, have you been looking at the comments? Because there was a string of like 1,000 comments. We're like, oh my God, we love Chunk.
It's okay. You're doing fine, honey.
I don't see any. Oh, here they are. Oh my gosh, there it is.
Well, it's very nerve-wracking to show yourself. So we're
glad that you're here.
We're glad you're here. We're glad everyone gets to see you. You're so beloved, and you do the hardest thing, which is, you know, to me, it's the humor and the animation and capturing the moment. It's the hardest thing, and you do it. Everyone should know we're not going to out anything else, but this is just your like stress release, right?
Yeah.
This is our jobs. The rest of us, we're working our
real job, like a real important.
And you're running circles around us artistically, and it's just like your like throw off thing. So it's much appreciated. I think there's something to the fact that what we're up against, and Greg, you wrote about this today. I've talked about it. We landed on this word of artless, right?
Yeah.
That there's really truly there's an entire party, but certainly its leaders and all of even their meme lords of it, there's an artlessness to it. Elon Musk walking into Twitter headquarters with a sink as if that's funny, as if there's some kind of it's no sense of humor. It's not even like, no, God, don't you have any friends? Your friends would have stopped you from doing this. It's so embarrassing.
Or PR team.
He's not a friend of comedy.
No, he's not a friend of anything. He's a social outcast that found $1 billion somehow, you know, in the crevice of an emerald mine in the KGB's headquarters. I don't know where he comes from. Maybe some hacked information and with some engineering specs on it. I've speculated about this before. I'll keep speculating about it until I'm actually look like I look with this makeup on. It's, you know, there's something to, I certainly have said that a long time ago, the artist will save us. I certainly believed it. It's not that I'm losing hope. It's just that we need more support. Yeah. We need support like you give us, Ethan. We need support from, just a sector. It's not like we don't have audience support and Twitter support. I'm not talking about that. It's just there's not really a recognition, I think, in our industries, our collective industries, and in other industry sectors, and even on our politics. There's not a recognition that how much we are needed and what we can actually do and what we need in order to do that, because we're under this same experience as well. Like, I couldn't function for half the day because of what happened to Paul Pelosi. I could barely function now.
I mean, that's
it's like, oh, it's so awful. So it's hard to produce. Melissa, you know this. Greg, you know this. Chuck, you know this. Very hard to produce in the middle of all of this.
Oh, yeah.
So I don't know, Ethan. We got to find we need George Soros. Where the hell is that guy? Where is he?
He's everywhere, according to the other.
Yeah, he's everywhere.
Yeah. Where is he?
It's going to happen, and it's going to require us to do more. I mean, so like what I think I remember donating to something Melissa Jo was working on.
Oh, the document. Have you seen it yet, Ethan?
I haven't. And
very good.
So send me a link. That's all I'm one of those people. If you don't send me a link, I'll never remember.
I will send you a link. And if you like it, write a nice review. And if you don't like it,
of course I will.
Write a nice
if you don't like it, just don't.
And I'll like it. I'm not at all worried about that. So, and I know
it's
actually
fun.
need a certain amount of reviews to stay relevant.
Yeah, of course.
And in the Amazon algorithm somehow. So, and we're like halfway there. So we're like,
write a review, give a like, give it stars, do the whole thing. Everybody get in there. Got to do it. You got to do it. Push
we
us
got
up.
a lot of viewers on YouTube and Tubi. People are starting to watch it there.
Fantastic. Yeah. And that's where you can find it, right? Amazon, YouTube, Tubi, all of that.
Google Play. Yeah.
Google Play.
But of course, Amazon has no commercials. So.
Oh.
Well, it doesn't cost very much to rent the movie. It's fine. Remember, again, getting back to the Gen X thing, Ethan, like we used to go rent movies like all the time. You'd go to like some video store, Blockbuster, or if you had a better one, you'd go to the better one, like Kim's Video or whatever, and you'd pay $3-4 to rent a movie.
It's the millennials who I think who expect everything to be free.
Because
with the internet, with
maybe not. Maybe it's just I know a lot of cheapo people. We don't have to segment ourselves that way, but
Yeah, it's fine. It's like, but it's in, everyone complains about the gas prices go up. Movie rental costs has not gone up since I was in college. And everyone's like, I can't believe I have to rent them. It's funny how maybe it's just me. Maybe it's just the booze talking. I don't know. All right, should we get to the announcements part?
I think we have to get to the announcements. I want to say, I think we can do it, right?
We can bring in who we have to bring in here. We have one person on deck here.
Perfect.
Waiting patiently. To come in and tell us about, pointing at her watch. And hi, Sandi. How are you?
Sandi Bachom.
Hey.
My hat was in the other room. Can you hear me?
Sandi's in our film, by the way.
Pirate hat. My porn star pirate hat. Porn store pirate hat.
Oh, she's a
I had to go to the Halloween parade. Before I had my press pass, and you couldn't get in without a press pass, so I had to dress up, and it was midnight, and a friend of mine said, "Go to the porn store," and so I go to the porn store on the street, and I got a tutu, and I got this hat, and I have never been hit on more as when I wear this hat.
Where do we find this porn store?
8th Avenue.
Fantastic.
Great.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
All right.
Sandi, tell us about now we have two filmmakers.
Hi, Melissa.
Hey, and thank you so much for everything. I don't know if you've seen the finished film yet.
No, I haven't. I think, did I contribute a little? Did I?
Remember we licensed your Charlottesville footage.
Charlottesville, yeah. Thank you. You're welcome. Thank you.
Tell us about your movie because it's exciting.
Last night was yesterday was the Tree of Life, the anniversary of the Tree of Life massacre, and there was a show on HBO that licensed my Charlottesville footage, and it was called The Tree of Life, A Tree of Life, and it was just incredible timing because you know, and the shot they used a couple of shots, but one of them was just a quick shot of a guy with a swastika flag. And they slowed it down, and it was so chilling to see that iconography, is that a word for this? In the streets, that to see that and hear them chant, the Jews will not replace us. First of all, they said, "You will not replace us," and that, well, what the hell does that mean? And then they said, "Jews will not replace us." And we thought, did I hear that right? Did they really say that? And I was like feet away from the guy that drove the car, James Fields. I was filmed him all day long, and watching him get radicalized during the course of the day. You know, so this guy today, I am so not surprised. Everything that he said in his blog, I don't know, I haven't been watching what you've been talking about, but every single thing, you know, all the QAnon, it's the, during the pandemic, he said the pandemic is pedophilia, and 800,000 children are kidnapped a year and raped and murdered. And at the Wilkes-Barre rally, I talked to these women that said 800,000, it's always this figure because they all get the news in the same place. 800,000 children are, Ghislaine Maxwell was into oceans, she said, this one woman said. I'm going to post this video this weekend. She's into oceans, and there's a whole network of submarines around the country.
Submarines and tunnels,
around the country in like Kansas, and then they come down through the inland. They kidnap the kids. They bring them down the inland waterways, and then they rape them and kill them in the tunnels under Disney World. And they say that, and then right after that, this woman goes, "Trump's innocent. He's innocent." It's such a non sequitur. And they all say the same thing. They believe this. They believe it. You know, but this guy was hooked right in that. They drink the blood of the babies. I filmed them saying all of this stuff. You know, I've actually talked to them.
Yeah.
No, it's really.
This isn't just one person with mental illness. This isn't.
No, it's not. It's
not. We are being radicalized. Our population is being radicalized into political violence in order to push one party into power and create their state.
And then you normalize,
and it's not. It just doesn't. Just because it's American flavor, it's just got an American flavor. But it's exact. This is how it goes down. And I think, you know, it's good to be clear-eyed and on target with that, and not cede any ground there. This isn't. We can't just start going mental illness. That is just
that's a right wing thing. No.
Yeah.
The minute they admit Happy's mentally ill. Oh yeah, well but he's saying this stuff they all say. So what? They're all mentally ill then.
Yeah.
They're all saying exactly the same thing.
I understand, but they're just being radicalized. This is what it looks like. You don't think it sounds mentally ill for the folks that we fought against, who were saying, you know, 8,000 virgins. That number 8's always in one of these psyops, right? 8,000 virgins, and I'm gonna da. It sounds just as insane to their friends and family and neighbors as these folks do to us.
Right.
This is just what the American version of it.
It is. It's exactly the same. And you know, with Elon Musk buying Twitter, and now he just bought Mastodon right after that. So
what's that?
He bought Mastodon?
Yeah.
What is that?
Today?
What is it?
It's a smaller social network, and people were talking about maybe using it as a backup to Twitter. So he must have read that.
Red Petticord, I know you're watching.
Really cheap. It was like
you know, I got a trick for you. He fucking blocked me this week. Elon Musk blocked me. I don't know if that's a trick or a treat.
I don't know.
I was trying to be about it. I'm terrified. Then that means I'm on the list to be suspended.
All right, so let's go to our attorney. Do you mind? What happens if we get rounded up by this? Like, this is what people are saying, and I'm not trying to be overly funny. I'm literally going, oh no, what if there is a, you know, I don't want to entertain craziness, but also
it's not crazy.
It doesn't feel safe.
It doesn't.
It's not safe for the spouses of our politicians. How long before it's not safe for, you know, voices.
Try being press.
This is a tough one, right? So that's kind of a broad question, but generally speaking, at least the lower courts will, uphold what we know to be the First Amendment and a couple of hundred years of case law related to the First Amendment. So from that end, the bigger question becomes I think Greg and I have talked about this a little bit in the past, some of the very odd statements made from one or more of the Supreme Court justices around these topics. I think that's where we all should be a little concerned.
Oh yeah.
Like what? Well, like what, Ethan? Give me an example.
I'm not going to get into the specifics.
Scalito saying weird shit this week. He, Sam Alito and Clarence Thomas are cloud cuckoo. They're nuts.
Yeah, they've gone in the rabbit hole with Ginny. And Ginny, my God, did you guys read Drew Riggleman's Denver Riggleman's book yet?
I haven't read it yet. I'm glad you brought that up. I do want to read it.
Good. But he has some of the he lists some of the Ginny.
The text.
She's insane. I mean,
I wrote a piece about it last week. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, she was telling Mark Meadows that, don't worry, everybody's, Nancy Pelosi's being, escorted to Guantanamo right now. And I mean, in what universe? And then she's definitely affecting Clarence. There's no question.
Oh, it's her best friend.
Oh, you think she might have influence over Clarence?
Oh,
wow.
Yeah.
But she was at all the rallies. She paid for the buses to get people there. I mean, there's so much stuff. I was at all three of I was a third rally, January 6th. I know about, do we have time for this? I know a lot about cults. I was raised a Christian Scientist in Hollywood in the 50s. I didn't have a polio shot because my grandmother was a Christian Scientist. And then in the 70s, I took EST 3 times. And I don't know if you know about that. But the thing that she's in, the thing that Ginny Thomas is in is a spinoff of EST. EST was the first, Werner Erhard Seminar Trainings is what it stood for. And then LifeSpring or whatever she's in, that's kind of like a third generation spinoff. But what they do to you is what they do in Trump rallies. And it's the exact same neurolinguistics or whatever, right? Ethan's nodding. So they put you in a hotel room. In those days, you couldn't pee for 2 days. You couldn't fucking pee. And it's sensory deprivation. So you're in a hotel room with 200, and you spend a lot of money. It was like $300. In those days, that was a lot of money in the 70s. And you're in a hotel room with a bunch of other yuppies, young professionals. I was in advertising. And you're laying on the floor, and they take you through these guided hypnosis. They hypnotize you. And they tell you your life doesn't work. Your relationships don't work. You're a piece of shit. It's like they tear you down in this sensory deprivation hotel room. And then they go, but I alone can fix it, right? And they make you re-experiencing your childhood wounds, and then they come in and then they fill it through the thing. And that's exactly what Trump does at these rallies. He keeps them in there for a couple hours.
That's one of our theses in the doc is that it's a cult, and that Trump is hypnotic in some of the things he says. He's like
his cadence, breathless, fascinating.
Also, Steve Hassan talks in our documentary about chanting. Just when you.
I want to see this. This is great.
That's that actually is like thought stopping techniques in a cult.
Oh yeah. Basically, and Melissa, I was watching last night The Vow. It's about this NXIVM.
Oh,
NXIVM.
Yeah.
And they were talking about this guy, this charisma that this guy, whatever his name is, has. And he studied neurolinguistics, and he taught neurolinguistics. So all of it. Do you talk about that in your documentary?
We really talk about that. We have Jennifer Murcia Mursiasa. She is the professor of rhetoric, and she wrote the book, The Rhetorical Genius of Donald Trump. It's called, Demagogue for President. And she goes on about how he's not just an idiot. He knows what he's doing. And a lot of the people behind him, the PSYOP people like Flynn and Bannon, they know what he, how to guide him. But he has an instinct for it. I mean, he has a real instinct for manipulation. He's been a con man whole life.
Hang on, not to interrupt for 1 second. Ethan has been called away. He has to go back live on German TV.
No, okay.
Thank you so much for joining us. It's always a pleasure.
Auf Wiedersehen.
Happy Halloween. Take care, man.
Get a corn hat.
Thank you.
And then there were 5. The people are watching this that maybe are going to come on here. I don't know if they're going to come on or what's going on. Maybe. I don't know.
Deeply sorry I have to run. Okay.
Yeah. It's okay. It's okay.
It's okay.
Oh, this is private chat. I'm missing the whole. Oh my God, I missed the whole thing here. Oh no, I was on private chat. I said, "What are you talking about?" And there's like thousands of people here. Wow.
I'm looking for comments here. So.
Yeah. There's a lot of nice things. We're supposed to talk. We were going to talk about Sandi's movie, which we haven't even mentioned the title of.
Yeah, we were going to put up a poster, so let's do it.
Oh, it's okay. Yeah. That's okay. Oh, if you don't have time,
I forgot to do the poster thing. I forgot.
Oh my God!
I know. I knew I forgot something important.
We'll put it up on the Twitter page.
We'll put it up on the Twitter page.
You know we'll do the thing for you.
Tell us
about it. You won. What did you win? You entered. There's always this thing where you're like, it's in festivals, and I don't know what that means. I'm just like, okay, it's in festivals. Maybe we'll see it 8 years from now.
I've made thousands of short films, literally thousands. I've got a couple thousand on YouTube. I stopped using YouTube after January 6th because they started taking our footage down and giving us strikes. They took down my Roger Stone speech from January 5th and they gave me a strike. They took down one of the most horrific QAnon guys that was talking about drinking the blood of babies that had been up for 2 years, and they just took everything down. It's just I'm so paranoid about it. So I've made thousands of films, but I've never finished anything. I mean, it's short attention span theater stuff that I do. I used to call them schlockumentaries because they were like so short. And after January 6th, I realized my son died that day. I think some of you know that. Yeah, and I made a vow to him that I was going to finish this thing. I'm going to sit down and I'm going to do it. I'm going to get through this and I'm going to finish a film, and then I'm going to enter it into film festivals, which is a horrific experience and not for the faint of heart. And it costs a fortune. And my wonderful Twitter family, I could not have done it. If anybody's out here watching this, I could not have done it without the generous donations of my Twitter folks, because they sent me enough money to start it, and I'm just so grateful. And damn you, Elon, if you fucking suspend me, it's like a lot of us, I was tweeting today, a lot of us make our little meager not living, but it keeps us going because of the generous donations of some Twitter followers. For me, I don't know if it's for you. And he would be taking away a lot of our livelihood. There must be a lawsuit in there somewhere.
I mean, that's
suspends me.
Especially when you have something to promote. I mean, I got knocked off Twitter for 5 days, and right when I was really needing to promote the film. And,
oh shit! Yeah. How'd you get knocked off? Did you get mass reported or something? That's my thing.
No, I got fished, and they caught me at a very busy.
Oh, you got that hack that was going around. It's going around.
What is that?
I almost fell for it myself.
What was it?
Get it.
You go.
You get an email that says you've been flagged, blah blah blah, and it's from some blue check account that makes it seem like it's Twitter security, whatever. Yeah. And it's usually somebody that follows you, but you don't know who they are, and you're like, oh my god, and then you click on it reflexively, and the next thing you know.
And what happens, Greg? What happens when you click on it?
I don't know what happens. What happens, Melissa?
You lose your pay.
You to the they send you to the Twitter report form, which looks the report form they had looks exactly like the Twitter report form, but I think you give them more information. And so, with me, when I it's like I had a really bad feeling, and then it was like that. I mean, I must be automated because as soon as I did that, it was like that. My name, my address were off my account, and try to get a person at Twitter, especially. I'm sure now it's going to be
no. Oh my God, you're kidding.
Yeah.
Oh, that happened to me on Facebook, where somebody got into my Facebook account. You know who helped me? I think it was Allison. Allison.
Yeah, sure.
I think, because I never really met her. It was one of those wonderful warrior ladies. I think it may have been Allison. And I all of a sudden couldn't get into my Facebook account, because what they did was they got into my account and they changed. Oh, thank you, Brett.
Oh, thank
called
you, Brett.
spearfishing. Okay, sounds phony. Oh, he's fish PH. I love that group. And
I love their album.
you can't get into your account because they changed your email. So when they ask you to sign in and verify, it goes to their email address, whatever that is, right? And so I posted it on Twitter, and damn it, somebody reached out and they knew somebody. They knew somebody at Twitter. No, it wasn't Allison. Anyway. The guy just helped me immediately, and I had to change my email address. But if not, I would have lost 5,000.
Almost 5 days to get it back, and I kept getting.
Oh my God!
Twitter saying, just go to your, change it, go and change your password. I'm like, you don't understand. I can't.
Yeah, you can't get in, right?
Yeah, wow. And then somebody I know spoke. Oh, it was Walter Schoep. He knew somebody at Twitter, and he.
Oh yeah. These guys, and I was mass reported, because I shot this Proud Boys video, the attack video, right? So I used to get mass reported by the Proud Boys. I wonder if they're going to be able to do this now. Well, this is what I fear, is that if I'll get mass reported for nothing, and then there's no recourse. There's no
they'll
board
be
to.
Yeah,
that's what I'm worried about. So Jack Posobiec, actually, we found out, mass reported me and shut me down. And another Twitter friend knew somebody at Twitter, and they said that she does a lot of work exposing these guys, and it probably had to do with something she was doing. And sure enough, it was mass reported, and I got it back.
So here's the sort of proof in the pudding of the point that Ethan was making earlier, Sandi. I don't know, right before you came on, of what you do matters, or it wouldn't get attacked. And so
that's why I was the threat for these folks. I found out Carrie Lake blocked me.
Oh my God, you're kidding!
I know, and I'm like, I must be important, but
it's a double-edged sword.
I think she has some sort of a program that scans for her name, obviously. But somebody was asking me why she looked so funny in her videos. She's got the Star Trek, silk on black kind of thing. She's got some really beautiful filters that soften her all up. And so I posted a couple, shots of Star Trek ladies and her. I think that's what did it, because I never really said anything. I never said anything specific about her except for that.
It's funny.
I told Elon to delete his account.
Somebody
blocked me.
He should delete his account. Somebody posted the thing where Carrie Lake was at a drag show dressed as Elvis.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
I can't.
She's completely switched.
Now. Every time I see her, my brain goes,
she was a Kabbalah person. She was a Kabbalah person.
Yeah, of course.
Really?
She's
that's again, a lot of these
what a grifter.
Great marks.
What a grifter.
Because they just go down a different rabbit hole. That's all.
Wow. Yeah, they just flip. They flip.
Sandi, can we see your movie yet? When are we going to be able to see your movie?
No, you can't. You can't.
Okay, we can't.
Unless you go to Santa Monica. If you're in Santa Monica on November 13th, you can see my film.
That's my birthday.
It's at the News Fest Film Festival. I'm nominated in 2 categories.
That's right.
Best first film.
Okay.
And best documentary.
Because we didn't get accepted in some big festivals, and a couple people at the festivals actually wrote me personal notes saying, well, the judges loved it, but the board said no.
Oh, really? Well, you know why this is a bad year? Yeah, well, this is a bad year because of the pandemic. It's the first time they're back. So it's like it's
for
very
us, we're back too, but then you remember everything sort of came back and then it didn't after the.
But let me say something about it's called True Believers at the Insurrection, and it is shows how in 20 minutes, I believe, people tell me, it shows how these guys have been radicalized, how they did it, and it's the 2 months after Trump lost, when they had the first Stop the Steal rally on November 14th, and like thousands of these MAGAs showed up insisting that the election had been stolen, and they were brainwashed for a couple of years actually that in case the election gets stolen or it's all rigged, and he wasn't going to accept it was all if you listen to what he said, he was never going to accept the election if he lost. He was never going to accept the results because it was obviously rigged. And that's Roger Stone's caper from 2016. Stop the Steal is from 2016. Roger Stone say, if you lose, like Rudy said the night of the election, just say you won. It's as simple as that. He said, just say you won. And then 80 million, 200 million people, however many, bought it.
It's the Roy
82
Cohn
million
way.
people bought it.
So dumb.
It's the Roy Cohn way. All right. Well, I think, Greg, we might have.
We do, but wait. Before we go there, because that's the finale.
Oh, that's the finale.
I have another announcement.
The other announcement. Are you ready?
I'm gonna do a little striptease.
Whoa, what are you doing?
I'm gonna take this crown off.
Take off the crown.
It's making my brain hurt.
You forgot your porn hat.
I want to thank Leslie for this because she asked repeatedly for merch.
Oh my god!
And we now have
T-shirts.
We have T-shirts, man. And okay, so I'm
extra large.
You've arrived.
This link. I think it's going to work. There it goes. I just put the link in the chat. Okay, this is a buddy of mine that makes these by hand. So this is actually, you can't tell because it's dark in here, but this is a dark green color. It's actually quite lovely. I wasn't sure, but it's very nice. Even my wife approved.
Yeah.
And it's got the 5/8 on over my heart. And if you want something different, if you want a V-neck, if you want a different color, if you want a sweatshirt or whatever, write Carl. Tell him what you want.
Right, Carl.
He does it by himself. He does it by hand. He put this on by hand. It's not. This isn't some fucking cafe pressed weird factory that we don't know anything about.
It's Carl in the sweatshop.
It's Carl, man.
It's Carl.
So, we've got T-shirts now. We've got merch.
We got T-shirts.
Actually, the only thing we have is T-shirts, but we do have T-shirts because Leslie wanted T-shirts, and I'm gonna give people what they want. Damn it, that's my pledge to you.
Nice. Well, I would like. I want the long sleeved white tee. So I'm with the V now.
Whatever you tell Carl what you want. You got to write him.
Tell Carl.
I know what you want, and you're gonna get what you want. You're in good hands with him. He's very excited about this project. We went over it. It's all good.
What's this $5 thing? Is that it?
No,
that's somebody who wants a $5 tip.
It's up a ways. My wife says we look Carl.
Okay.
Carl with a cat.
Somebody sent you $5?
Yeah.
Hey, type down the script.
By the way, we always forget about all this stuff. So, okay, now
we're
what
moving
we're
into our
gonna do
last
now is
bit.
that's my announcement. LB, do you have any more announcements?
That's it. No. Let's get to our
okay. We're gonna get to the finale. I think. Okay, so Sandi, Melissa, thank you so much for joining us tonight. Happy Halloween. Good luck with your films. Everybody who's watching, please go watch these movies. They're really important, except for Sandy's movie that you're not allowed to watch. Go watch Melissa's movie. It's called The Game Is Up. It's on Amazon. Fucking just rent it. It's not that much money.
But we need Amazon reviews, so that's really important.
And just write a review. It'd be great. Melissa, great to see you. Thanks for coming on.
Oh, thank you, guys. Trick or treat.
Good night. Okay.
Trick or treat.
Sandy,
thanks everybody.
We love you.
I love you all. Really do.
Everyone loves your hat, by the way. Everyone is like drooling over your hat.
Hey, listen, anybody who's on here on the right, would you please? I'm so bad at. I try and vet everybody. Please tell me that you want me to follow you back if that means anything to you. Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Bye-bye.
Okay. Sandi, good night. Thank you for coming on.
Thanks for
Okay.
coming. All right.
Trunk, you're staying for this.
Okay.
Okay. Because this is
I'm
cool because you were unmasked tonight. And this is how we're going to end the show tonight. We're not going to unmask. We're going to mask. Okay. But nobody's actually seen Gal Suburban before because they've heard her talk, but we've never actually seen her before. Everybody knows Gal Suburban. Does she describe herself as Ascent Ninja? I don't know.
She is an Osint ninja.
She's brilliant. She knows everything about everything. And she's
Everything
deep in the
about
Florida swamp fighting these swamp creatures. And I was like, hey, you can wear a mask on Halloween, man. Come on the show. So here she is, Gal Suburban. How are you?
Gal Suburban!
Hi. Yeah. Hi. All right. I don't have any more drink left. I'm very sad. What are you drinking?
I love your mask. Are those feathers on your mask or is it leather?
Yes, it's Edgar Allan Poe's The Raven.
I was looking for my Raven earlier.
Nevermore.
Oh, here she is.
How
How you doing, Gal? How you doing?
I'm good. My ice has melted, but I'm still working on it.
All right. Okay. My orange is taking over. So what do you have for us? Trick or treat. You know, we have our Gal reports that we're so thrilled about. Talk to us about what you think we're looking at. I don't even know what our last subject was and what you were coming on for, but give it to us. Trick or
Friday
treat.
the 13th, part 45.
Oh, Friday the 13th, part 45.
Because Trump is 45.
Right Trump.
Right?
Oh shoot! Was I supposed to do? Was like
We've obviously we've abandoned the 8-5 whatever it is tonight.
I got my Gematria app out and because Trump is 88, and then have you seen those people that add up all the numbers and then the numbers actually mean like a thing?
It's like all shit.
Yeah,
that's to get it to the Heil Hitler. That's to connect.
This is like numerology, or to the number of the beast. We're just gonna get right there. It's 666 on the forehead. Right?
There's some kind of revelations,
yeah. What do you
look close at Elon Musk? Okay, sorry.
What do you think about today? What are your thoughts as of today? What's top of mind for you, Gal?
I'm not. It's not a great day. After, I mean, it really. I'm trying. You were talking about hopium, and I was like, well, shit. I'm not sure I'm the right person to talk about hopium.
Okay.
Just with Pelosi and what happened, I think there's a lot of us, all of us, you guys, and a lot of my team has been warning about this kind of violence, and their targets have been pretty clear. So I'm really disappointed that Mr. Pelosi didn't have security. That's really upsetting to me. That this person could walk in his back door, and I just. Where's our intelligence? Like, don't we have an intelligence agencies? Like 16 of them, 17 of them? Like, where are they? I'm worried. I'm just really worried.
Evidently.
Yeah. So doom and gloom for Halloween, but
it's okay. I think it's okay to be present to the moment that we're in. And we are in a scary moment.
This is terrifying.
The scariest part of it is it feels just like the beginning because it's been brewing, and it didn't matter how many flares any of us sent up or saying this is going to get violent. So much trying to get attention on it, trying to get everyone to take it seriously. It's not that they didn't take it seriously, but they didn't know how to even cover it, I guess, until there's a dead body or an injured elderly man, right, who had to have surgery today to put his skull back together. So
because he got hit by a fucking hammer in an assassination attempt on the Speaker of the House, and all the right-wing people can talk about is that it's a false flag. That was all over Twitter.
I know.
Well, how do they not have security? This is a false flag. It sounds made.
It's going to always be blaming the victim with these people, always, and twisting and reversing it all. They're abusers, and so this
San
is what
Francisco is a sanctuary city. They're saying.
Yeah, I'm sure.
That's the problem.
I'm sure.
I'm sure they were very much hoping for an immigrant or one of their others that they've othered, but no, it's one of theirs.
One of theirs.
And, you know, this is precisely what they were hoping to be able to do, and the types of weapons that they brought with them on January 6th, you know.
Did
so
Jack Posobiec or whatever his piss bitch or whatever his name is, blame Antifa?
Posobiec.
Sorry.
Yeah.
I don't really care to pronounce it right. But
I
did he
call
blame
him the
Antifa?
POS
They always,
Ibic.
yeah. They
So
always
what we
blame
can-
Antifa for something like that. It's almost like
Yeah.
you check their Twitter almost immediately after some sort of a tragedy or an occurrence like this, and they always try to divert your attention to something else because they know it's them.
Yeah.
If they're not inventing an imaginary villain, blaming
Yep.
something putting a falsehood and telling a lie about what it is, they're deflecting and doing whataboutism. And
Mhm.
Yeah.
so, you know, it's not even worth trying to, in my mind, it's not worth any of us trying to spend our energy on those folks. But certainly to spend our energy demanding that our leaders and that the voices with the biggest platforms in media that are into everybody's homes, televisions in their homes, actually continues to report on this, report on it accurately. Why is Bob Woodward being dragged out of the of whatever care he's under and thrust in front of us to talk about stochastic terrorism because he doesn't even know what it is, and he's just saying, well, you know, because of why?
Because of Watergate that happened in when I was
What
in diapers.
does he have on any of this? Nothing. So we need to, and no fault to him, no shade to him.
No, he's trying. Yeah.
Oh no, the fault to him is that he sat on vital intelligence that would have saved a million American lives for fucking 8 months.
Oh yeah, with COVID.
So fuck
right.
him. Basically.
So
Sorry.
I'm just saying the responsibility lies elsewhere, and those responsible, I don't know. Somehow we got to keep getting their attention, and through nonviolent means, for God's sakes, to actually cover this thing. I did hear some stuff today that was very much, you know, it is one party. You can't do this both sides. It really is this violence, this domestic terrorism, this big lie, these people being radicalized. It is happening predominantly in one space, in one particular way, for one particular man. And the hordes that feel like they can come up behind him and just ride it for their own grab at power, these thirsty fucking bitches, but you know, with Kari Lake, and I don't mean it. I'm sorry, guys. I know that's a derogative, but I wouldn't take.
I'm not offended.
I wouldn't take Jamie Vance out of that category either. I wouldn't take. It's just these the ambition. My God. So
and for what? And for nothing.
What?
For nothing but
For
power.
what? But the only way they're going to get it is through violence. The only way they're going to get it is through corruption. The only way they're going to get it is through lies and deceit and thievery. That's how they're going to get it. They're going to get it by being hardened criminals. And that's what we need to focus on and call out time and time and time again. That's it.
I mean,
they're not going to get it through democratic processes. They're not. They've given up on that.
Right. Yeah. And Denver Riggleman, I heard somebody mention his book earlier, and I'm just grateful that somebody is putting him on TV. He needs to be on TV every day, at least one segment talking about this radicalization. He's an intelligence military trained specialist. He knows military operations, psychological operations. He knows the players. He's seen the data. You know, and he didn't get the funding he needed to do the, you know, investigation that needed to be done. I understand, you know, what the committee, their goal really, they needed to get rid of, you know, the King Trump situation. I understand, but there is definitely more that we need to talk about when it comes to this ISIS, like Al-Qaeda, like radicalization. Right. I mean, if you ask anybody in active duty service right now that is familiar with fighting these people, when they look at right-wing channels on Rumble, Telegram, that's what this is. This is what we learned Al-Qaeda and ISIS were doing to, you know, empower suicide bombers and it's the same. It's what we're seeing today. So, you know, we need to have leaders with courage enough to write legislation that designate these people domestic terrorists. We need, you know, legislation that regulates, you know, the ability for foreign influence to come into social media and radicalize people through proxies like Jack Posobiec and Mike Flynn and all of these guys. So, you know, and these are things that are hard things to get through when half of your Congress has been mind fucked by them, you know, and is on their payroll or at least confused about where their loyalties are, you know. So
I would like that. Maybe we can start articulating this, Gal. And I don't know if it's crazy, and I wish we had Ethan back on, but as a, you know, I always go to like, what are the solutions, right? What is some things that can be done? I think the fact that Mike Flynn, I don't care what anybody says, no, that wasn't his division. No, he knows a PSYOP. He knows how to use it. He's been speaking of it. This is what Riggleman was also trying to get everybody to see. This is this is a science. These are tools and techniques. Our tax dollars pay people
millions. They millions.
Millions of dollars in service. And so I think if you're going to take the people's money to learn this trade craft, to learn this science, to master it, to use it for on behalf of the nation, there's got to be some kind of agreement in there that once you're
a non-compete
into the wild, you can't use the shit that we trained you on, this weapon against us.
Yeah.
Or privately against anybody else. If it's I'm trained in how to actually launch a missile, you don't leave the service, right? Or wherever you
and go consult for Saudi Arabia
and go shoot missiles at Americans. Say, well, you know what? I'm gonna wait the war because I know how to actually build an arsenal and use this shit. My God.
I don't even like when Americans. I don't even like when Americans go coach basketball for other countries in the fucking Olympics. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't, and you're gonna go do war shit and advise the fucking Saudis and the Emiratis, these fascist fucking, you know,
there's a big report
outside of the purview, right? Of it's not like it's happening. We do advise our allies or people that we have partnerships. We bring them. We
allies,
we do that. But that's under the purview of government oversight, of military oversight. It's not out in the wild. This guy is raw dogging it out there against Americans with the fucking toolkit that they gave him.
I'm not going to say anything about Flynn, but he's a bad guy. Wherever he appears, people should bring, you know, the little bicycle bells that they have on bicycles.
Yeah. I like this.
I'm just going to say, I'm not going to say why, but I'm going to suggest.
Oh, I know why.
Yes, you do. Every time Mike Flynn appears in public, get bicycle bells.
Yes, do it.
Go not close to him, but around the perimeter and ring those fucking bicycle bells like it's goddamn the middle of Bicycle by Queen in a goddamn arena.
Please do intelligence there.
Trust me. It's highly effective. I'm not going to say why.
That'll be a trigger.
God, why is Ethan not here when I need him? But I am going to say, completely, potentially unrelatedly, Mike Flynn was, you know, arrested when he was 17 for doing something that I won't name.
Maybe he was.
Maybe he definitely was. He wrote about it in his memoir. This isn't a state secret.
I bet you have
what he was arrested for. It's not something that people know, but I feel like if you took a bicycle bell and went to every time Mike Flynn appeared and rang those bells, oh boy, it would have some effect. That's what I'm going to say.
All right, we need a 5/8. We need a 5/8 bell.
We do. Do I have one? I think I might have one.
Call Carl. Call Carl.
Call Carl.
Yeah, come on, Carl. Let's get with the program. Do I have a bicycle bell in here? Do I really not have a?
You have it on your...
Yes.
That's money.
That sounds like a cash register.
Yeah.
That's not really a bicycle bell either.
All right, you guys, we are like at 6:42.
What's
6:42?
we're.
Oh, right, because you're.
Oh
there.
yeah, we're all in funky time.
I don't know.
Everybody's in a different time zone on this. I think we should wrap. Gal, Gal, Tony.
Wait. Before we wrap, can we just 5 more minutes?
Okay. Fine. Oh my God, my
set the timer. Set the timer. You have
this is fun. Yeah. Set the timer. This is because this has been a fun show, but we haven't done the usual thing on the show, which is get into the nitty-gritty. Right? We've had fun, and fun is fine. But I have people here saying, don't go, keep going, blah, blah, blah. So I want to ask Gal before you leave, since we've now seen what you look like a little bit. Also, by the way, you look like Irma Vep and LB looks like
I know. We should have coordinated better because she could have completely done it.
It works. Okay. What's going on in Florida right now? Why is Matt Gaetz not behind bars? But it seems like people are slowly getting arrested there. So what's going on? Give us the scoop on the Sunshine State.
Nevermore. No. So I have seen that the federal investigators have been requested for certain investigations that state prosecutors and investigators handled and essentially dropped the ball on, which has to do with the shill candidates or the ghost candidates that were in multiple races for 2020. If federal investigators take up looking into that, I think that's where you're going to start seeing the bigger players like Jason Broder. He's a state senator here who does all Ron DeSantis's bidding, and Matt Gaetz, Anthony Sabatini, several others. The one guy that excuse me, hold on. Whoop. Let's see.
Please.
There we go.
Please.
The one guy that was friends with Mikhail Margulis. I know we're talking about Durham lately and all that. So there's a really interesting guy in Matt Gaetz' web named Keith Ingersoll who used to be in business. LB, you probably know these people. Have you heard of Victor and Natalia Wolf? They were Russian mobsters, spies that swindled several $100 million out of real estate investors in Florida and Texas. They're still on the FBI's most wanted list.
Oh,
did they from 2010?
Yeah, they had the casino or whatever. Or they tried to do all that, I think.
No, they did take lots and lots of money. And then when FBI went to, arrest them, they were gone. One fled to Germany, one fled. They're still on the FBI's most wanted list. Well, Keith Ingersoll, they're still at large. Keith Ingersoll was in business with them at the time when all that was happening. Keith Ingersoll also is associates with Mikhail Margulis, if you remember him from Roger Stone and Guccifer, right? He rallied Russians to vote for Trump in Florida. He died 3 days after Keith Ingersoll was indicted on 41 counts of money laundering and wire fraud.
41? That seems like a lot.
Yeah. His co-conspirator just died last week, who was charged with 40 counts. Adam,
I've lost track of the dead bodies. I stopped counting dead bodies a while ago. There's more.
What's interesting is Keith Ingersoll just last week has decided to change his plea to guilty. So I think that's really interesting. So I'm kind of watching to see what if he has agreed to talk or if he's just willing to, or if he was told to, be the patsy for the network that he is involved in, because he's very close and he's actually like familially, is that a word, related to Paula White.
Oh yes.
Oh my God! Wait, time out.
I remember this.
Whoa. I remember. I have to stop you for 1 second.
Oh my God! I remember
Everybody watching, I'm sorry, we're going to end this on a trick. Paula White, who's the crazy Trump prophetess.
Prophet,
right?
yeah, that she speaks in the tongue.
Is
Angels are
married
coming
to-
from Africa.
Okay.
Was married to Jonathan Cain, the keyboard player from Journey.
No.
Yeah. Sorry. I'm sorry. Don't kill the
Oh.
messenger.
Greg did it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we can't.
Oh, Greg did it.
Perfect.
It's not your fault.
All right, with open arms. We're gonna.
Okay.
Don't stop believing, guys. Come on.
This is wait. I gotta say something. So this is. I just want to. I did this. I came. First time showing your face. First time going on a thing. It's intimidating and awful and a gift. And I just want to thank both of you for coming on and being on. And Chuck, you're my muse.
So
So
His hair
I
looks so good, by the way. Like it just like it's all in place. Just,
Oh
Chuck,
wow!
yeah,
Thank you.
no, you're very neat. It's fantastic.
Thank you.
But we just, I can't say enough about what both of you bring to the platform and to the show, and how grateful we are that we've just had your support and your enthusiasm and your artistry and your brilliance. So I know I don't. It's like I'm saying
And vice
goodbye
versa.
forever. It's just a stupid
let's all just
Halloween show.
grab each other's hands.
Yes,
Yeah,
here we
okay.
are.
We're-
Let's do it.
Sorry.
Let's do our color white thing. So thank you both so much. Right? And
oh my God,
audience, they did it for you, the audience, because they knew you're the thing that we use to talk them into this. They're like, they love you, they want to see you. So thank you for allowing us to manipulate our friends.
Yeah.
We appreciate it.
now I can't seduce right wingers like on dating apps. So now they're gonna know who I am. Fuck. I'm just kidding. I don't do that.
I think you'll find it's very easy. I mean, Amanda Moore on my podcast. She's like, I just sat at the bar and they came and hit on me. It was really simple. There was no other women there at all. So yeah,
they're very.
Oh my God, there's a woman here who's not, horrifying and wow,
Yeah,
it must be too good to be true. Yes, correct. It is. It is. Yeah.
Well, we'll all start fighting back. I think that's what we need to do. We'll have a little bit more fire, a little bit more fight, and we got beat back the fash.
Beat back the fash. Amen.
Amen. Okay.
Cheers.
Chunk.
Yes.
My friend, thank you so much for all you do.
Thank you.
Everyone's very psyched to see
Thank you for being.
Good night. Okay. Gal, we love you. You're doing great work. Keep it up. Good night. Okay. LB, I forgot. I didn't play the Claudia thing.
Oh, well,
we have to end with that,
do
right?
it? I think we have to end with it. So we did
have to end with it okay. So Claudia Black was going to come and join us, and she didn't, and she had this message for us, and we're going to hear the message now.
Hey, freaks and lovers, 'tis I, Claudius Black, dropping in to say that Ye, aka the artist formerly known as Kanye West, can lick my cold, pointy, Jew witch tit. Happy Halloween, happy eclipse season. Namaste.
Okay.
That was it. That's
my trauma therapist.
Yeah. All right, LB, happy Halloween. Everybody, thanks so much for watching. Thanks for the donations. We appreciate it. To all of our guests, there's so many of them, I can barely list them all. This was super fun. This was such a fun episode. Thanks you, everybody, for coming on. Thanks for our excellent audience for participating. We love all the great comments. Please, subscribe and like and all that stuff that 10-year-olds know to tell you to do. We will see you next week. Happy Halloween, everybody.